The entire world is waking up to the significant change that is underway around the fiat currency based financial system. And well, guess what? Now things are heating up in a very large way around the petrodollar being in question and ultimately where we are headed next. Let's talk about it. But first, welcome everyone to the channel. My name is Nick. For those that are new to the channel, welcome in. Hopefully by the end of this video, you become a subscriber. In a recent article that got put out by the IMF, dollar dominance in the international reserve system, an update. And this was from June 11th. And it's funny because just days beforehand, everyone was talking about the petrodollar and if it was finished, if it's done, and if it's not going to be re-upped. Now, we're going to talk about that. We're going to be addressing it. But here we have the US dollar continues to cede ground to non-traditional currencies in global foreign exchange reserves, but it remains the preeminent reserve currency. But the question is, for how long? And if the dollar does lose its reserve currency status, what is the next currency in line? Now, I know that everyone has been looking at the BRICS and the currency system that they're creating and saying, well, that's going to be the next reserve currency. But what if I put it into perspective like this? All right. BRICS Plus includes almost every major nation. Remember that almost every single name tied to the BRICS is on the BIS, including even the US Fed. So if we're talking about all those major central banks that are tied to the BRICS and even the US behind the BIS, that is telling us about this new financial system dominated by digital currencies, CBDCs, DLT, what's really going on? And is BRICS really a major distraction, or are the BRICS a major serious problem for the US and for the US dollar? I think everyone is looking at the BRICS as a problem, and they're saying, well, this is going to accelerate the demise of the US dollar. But what if they're actually just a distraction away from the fact that we are seeing the new financial system being created by the BRICS with the US? And this is going to be a completely decentralized financial system where every single central bank is connected to it, but they have their own system that they're running on and their own currency, all connected through mBridge, which we have broken down in the past. Now we're going to talk about that. We're going to be addressing it, but I want to first talk about this article, right? Because I summarized it. And we have the dominance of the US dollar in the global economy has been highlighted by the robust US economy, tighter monetary policy, and geopolitical risk, which have increased in its value. However, economic fragmentation and potential global reorganization into separate blocks could prompt countries to use other reserve currencies. IMF data shows a gradual decline in the dollar's share of global reserves over the past 2 decades, not compensated by increases in the euro, yen, or pound, but rather by non-traditional reserve currencies like the Australian dollar, Canadian dollar, Chinese renminbi, and others. These currencies are appealing due to diversification benefits, attractive yields, and ease of transactions enabled by new digital financial technologies. There you have a highlight on new digital financial technologies. Despite the dollar's strength, central banks are gradually shifting away from it. This trend is evident as the dollar's share of global reserves has decreased while its value remains relatively stable. Statistical tests do not indicate an accelerated decline in the dollar's reserve share, despite claims that U.S. financial sanctions have spurred movement away from the dollar. Most countries making up 93% of global reserves report their data, minimizing the impact of non-reports or reporters. So I want you all to succeed this alt season. So I put together a full list of tools that you guys can utilize to track where the largest whales are putting their money in this space that could ultimately net you a ton of ROI. I'm also giving out 30 free crypto gems that are fully researched and even broken down into specific risk categories. Both of these guides are completely free. All you have to do is claim your access right now by utilizing one of the links down in the description below. What are you guys waiting for? Make sure that you guys have access to this, especially for this alt season that is nearing. as we look at this, right, there is still a major pushback happening, and we can clearly see that, but the US dollar still remains strong as they're telling us. In my opinion, as we really look at fiat currencies and the fiat currency system, I do believe that it's failed. And I think that it's on its way out as we start to see more and more innovations happening around digital financial technology, specifically from like the BIS. Remember that the IMF is working closely with the BIS. So we know that all these major trials and these tests around like Project Enbridge, for an example, and this Finternet, right? The Internet of Value, essentially, all of it is going back to the idea that we're getting rid of the old financial system to welcome in the new financial system. But we also have the Chinese renminbi has gained a market share, but has shown signs of stalling, with recent data indicating a decline in its reserve share since 2022. Even after adjusting for exchange rate changes, the broader trend of diversifying away from the dollar includes many countries, with 46 identified as active diversifiers in 2020 and a few more joining by 2023. Financial sanctions have historically led central banks to shift reserves away from at-risk currencies to gold, which has seen increased accumulation due to geopolitical risk. Although its share of reserves remains low, overall, the international monetary system is gradually moving away from dollar dominance, with non-traditional currencies gaining a larger role, supported by digital trading technologies. Now, it's funny that the IMF is literally telling us this, right? Now, if we look at some of the charts here, we have stealth erosion. Recent US dollar appreciation has masked the extent of shifts out of the dollar reserves. And here we have on the left side, right, the dollar gaining traction and value, while the US dollar share of FX reserves reported and exchange rate and interest rate adjusted is falling drastically. I mean, this thing is it's just falling off the cliff. While dollar value continues to rise as dominance falls. So what's going on here? What's really happening? Are we seeing the dollar be propped up? Are we seeing a falsified valuation of the dollar? What's really going on? Well, in my opinion, it's basically like anything. As we look at the information being shared by the Fed, and we're looking at even the stock exchange, these things are getting propped up. They're being faked. We're being lied to almost on a daily basis. So as we look at the dollar, I don't believe that the value is actually there for the dollar. In my opinion, I look at the dollar as consistently, and it will consistently, by the way, lose purchasing power and value. We know this is true because if we go back 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years, even longer beforehand, that's been the growing trend. The dollar's value and the purchasing power of the dollar is eroding at a rapid pace, which is proof that the fiat currency system is going to continue to fail and fail and fail until something really breaks and we can no longer utilize it. And I think that we're getting close to that point. I think that we're only, maybe a couple years away from the new financial system being rolled out. And I've talked about this on multiple occasions. Here we also have chart 2, non-traditional currencies rise. Falling share of the big four currencies mirrored by increasing holdings of non-traditional reserve currencies. On the right side, you have the non-traditional share breakdown. Again, it's starting to rise drastically, sitting at almost 12%. And on the left side, you can see the USD, the Euro, the JPY, GBP, non-traditional as well. And again, we're starting to see the major big four falling while the non-traditional assets are starting to gain a lot of traction. Now, also over here, we have a broad-based shift. Falling dollar share is evident even after removal of large reserve holders, showing that the shift is broad-based as well. And here we have the percentage of global FX reserves held in US dollars. And again, it is like things are starting to change. I don't think that we even have to talk about it, right? I think that everyone at this point, unless you're completely blindsided by this and you're distracted, everyone knows of the rapid pace around moving away from the dollar and how rapid it has been, especially in the last couple of years. Over here, we have gold rebound as well. Bullion holdings are nearing the highest level since World War II, driven by accumulation of emerging market central banks. Now, one thing about gold and accumulation of gold is remember that this happens typically at times of major change happening around the fiat currency system. reserve currencies, as the reserve currency system changes, we start to see a major shift happening around gold. We're also seeing accumulation of gold at a time where it feels as though the economy is not going to bounce back. I think that's pretty much everyone's thought process here. It's like, how can we go back to normal now? And it's not about going back to normal. That was never the focus. I mean, even if the central bank is telling you like, hey, 2% interest or 2% inflation is our goal, like, that's crazy to me. You're paying 2%, you're losing 2% on your money year over year. How is that back to normal? How is that even close to normal? It's not. So as we look at gold, why is gold being accumulated at massive rates like this? Well, it's because gold is also going to be a part of this new financial system. A lot of people have been asking, like, are we going back to the gold standard? In my opinion, no, I don't believe that it's going to be the gold standard the way that everyone is assuming it to be. Yes, gold will play a role, but the main role is what DLT and these digital technologies are going to play, because that's going to be the largest role to fill. Now, talking about this, we also have some pretty substantial news to address when it comes to the BRICS, specifically Russia. We have over here $773 billion in market cap. Just halted trading in USD and euros, not messing around. And this is Russia's Moscow Stock Exchange officially halts trading in US dollars and euros. Again, at a time where dollar dominance is falling, dollar use is falling, and it feels like nothing else can happen at this point that's even remotely going to bounce the dollar back and increase dollar dominance, right? That's like the overall focus. And this is the story that they want you to hear. They want you to hear that the dollar's done, the dollar's failing, that this is going to be like the death strike. But focus on where we're actually headed. Focus on what's happening behind the closed doors, right? Because we're getting told just the surface value of what's really going on here. Over here, we have Chinese yuan connection to crypto SDRs. Big shout out to Smoke Dog for this. And this is regarding Chinese yuan becomes the most traded foreign currency on Russia's Moscow Stock Exchange after halting all US dollar and euro transactions. Within this, we could see the initial motivation for the issuance of crypto SDRs, special drawing rights, was to fill the gap caused by insufficient gold or freely convertible currencies as international reserves and to maintain stability in the foreign exchange market. And down here, they're talking about the Triffin dilemma. We have, and SDRs have not truly played their expected role in stabilizing the foreign exchange market and supplementing the shortage of international reserve currencies. Since the birth of Bitcoin in 2009, the transaction or the traditional information internet has been upgraded to a value internet of credit transmission, and blockchain technology has facilitated innovation and upgrading in the traditional financial industry. Blockchain plus finance has been upgraded from financial internet to internet finance, ultimately achieving the global application of technology finance. In this book, the author proposes combining the super sovereign legal attributes possessed by SDRs with the credit of international organizations and blockchain technology to create a new super sovereign currency, crypto SDRs, and based on this, build a new international monetary and financial system. We have the Chinese yuan being talked about here, but we have at the same time, after the birth of crypto SDRs, they will also be of great help to various industries at the micro level, especially in the fields of payment, banking, business, credit system, equity certification, insurance business, financial audit, technology supervision, notarization, and even energy. If China can actively participate and strive to lead the birth of crypto SDRs, it may obtain an opportunity to lead the creation of a new international monetary system, adjust international rules according to the existing world pattern. Now, I will say this, right? As we really look at crypto SDRs, as we look at, the current financial system and where we're headed, do you guys remember the PDF file that I shared with you guys on multiple videos where it breaks down these ESDRs, it breaks down gold as well, and we also see XRP? Well, basically, the way that new financial system will be worked out is you have gold backing the SDRs. Now, it could be crypto SDRs, it could be SDRs themselves, and then linked to CBDCs that are issued out on DLT. XRP would be a bridge between those CBDCs. It could be XRP, it could be multiple currencies. It doesn't really matter, right? All we know is that those CBDCs need to be bridged. The way that I look at that is with gold being accumulated at the levels that it is, gold will still need to be tokenized. It will need to be fractionalized because even here you see like it had to fill the gap caused by insufficient gold. Yes, there's an insufficient amount of gold out there. Gold will be revalued, tokenized, fractionalized. That way, this system, these CBDCs, could be backed by gold issued out on DLTs. Then you have the bridge currencies. Could be XRP, could be XLM, right? In my opinion, it's going to be the most liquid digital asset that is a decentralized bridge currency. That's how this new financial system will essentially work. Now, why do I bring this up? Why do I talk about it? Well, let's go over here. Because that new financial system PDF file, that's pretty much a map. Now, it's not like, oh, this is guaranteed to happen, but it's a great outlook on what it would look like. And then we got this video. Big shout to Subjective Views. China's president, Xi Jinping, says it's important to build an open, inclusive, discrimination-free space for the digital economy. Very interesting. Now check out this video. You got to read the subtitles on the bottom because it is not in English, but listen closely.
创新发展的历史机遇，新一轮科技革命和产业变革深入推进，正在催生新质生产力。各国要打造开放、包容、非歧视的数字经济环境，坚持以人为本，智能向善，在联合国框架内加强人工智能规则治理。
There you guys have it. Again, he's not just talking about the digital economy. He's not just talking about these new technologies. He's talking about AI. He's talking about these new financial systems that will be completely decentralized. No one will control them. And when I say no one will control them, I mean, if you have a digital system, a financial system, whatever you want to call it, right, in China that they're running on, it's not going to be the same system that the US has. Whatever the US does with their CBDC, with their, digital dollar, it's not going to affect China's currency. It's not going to affect Russia's currency. It's going to only affect the US dollar. This is a completely open system that is decentralized, that every nation has their own currency, which will essentially be a CBDC. No one will control it. And it's issued out by the central bank still, but all central banks will run on their own currency. That's why when we look at the old system that we're currently running on, that's where a lot of these problems arise. You have the US completely slaughtering other fiat currencies and other economies around the world by us massively printing and basically killing our own economy. These nations feel the wrath of what the US does. Any decision that the US makes immediately reflects on their economy as well. But then also, we hold these other nations hostage by weaponizing the US dollar and weaponizing the SWIFT financial system. This is why we're starting to see such a big pushback and a call for an open, inclusive system that basically is not controlled by, the US or anyone. Decentralized, completely decentralized. Now, I saw this video over here, and I want to include it in this video as well. And we have the people who really understand what's going on with digital currencies. This is Glenn Hutchins, Future of Crypto. Dear world, I pray you please listen to Glenn's 37 seconds and then direct me to any blockchain protocol more grand in purpose, scale, or vital global use case. Greater in utility, speed, efficiency, scalability, adoption, results, reliability, safety, ISO 20022 approval, and actual legal clarity in the United States. as 60 new BRICS nations stand at the ready in October, 3 months away, to exit the US dollar and SWIFT central banking control and sanctioning matrix. The Ripple protocol with XRP, XRP-L, RL USD, EXRP, and XRP Ledger EVM sidechain stand at the ready to play the critical role in operating our world's new digital monetary system. Soon, 90% of the world's population, landmass, oil-producing nations, shipping lanes, rare earth minerals, gold, silver production, and military power will exist outside the jackbooted control and thuggery of central bankers skilled at weaponizing fiat money control over sovereign nations. The XRP army agrees with Glenn. True value exists in the protocol. As soon as the dispatched ghouls and goblins of the old deep state banker world are fully exterminated, and soon they will be, our entire world will be freed at last. Now here we have a full breakdown of XRP, you know, why it exists. We have BRICS Summit 2024. And then we also have the Ripple protocol, 1,700 plus institutions, exporter payments, neutral bridge tokens, smart contracts, digital asset custody, and the full breakdown here. But listen closely to this 37-second long clip.
The people who really understand what's going on with digital currencies understand that putting these protocols in place, the blockchain protocol, the Ethereum protocol, the Ripple protocol, and then enabling those protocols to cause transactions to occur. And then those transactions can be defined very broadly as not just moving things of value, but anything that's got an information content, is extraordinarily transformative. The focus on the value of the token is distracting and uninformative.
So maybe now's a good time to invest in it.
I'm investing in the companies. I have owned some of the tokens on and off, but I'm investing in the companies that use the technology to drive this transformational change.
So there you guys have it. And again, you know, I do think that he's right on the money. Like, as we really look at this space, everyone is focused on the price of these assets. They're valuing XRP or Bitcoin or this or that in US dollars. Okay, just for reference, that's like valuing anything in the world by fiat currencies. And although, yeah, that is a great way to look at things because we run on a fiat currency system, but if we're starting to see the warning signs that we're moving away from fiat currencies and these technologies in this space are going to play a vital role in this, and knowing the information that we know about XRP and even Ripple, how could we technically value XRP in US dollars if this is technology that could very well disrupt the financial system as we know it and could very well play a role in advancing the financial system as we know it? Because I feel like this is where a lot of people get caught up in the idea that, all right, well, you know, XRP is only equal to, you know, X amount of cents or dollars or whatever. So how is XRP even valuable at this point? I think that the big mistake that everyone's making is still looking at this as, all right, XRP is worth only 50 cents. They don't actually look at it as, what's XRP worth technologically? What can XRP do technologically? That's where I look at the value. I don't look at it as, all right, well, 1 XRP equals so-and-so cents. That's great for the bull market. That's great for, you know, when we're ready to take profits and sell. But long term, what's the true value here? Could you even put a value on some of these things? But outside of this, right, I broke down a few things happening around our financial system. I said, people are so quick to write off XRP being utilized by the BRICS, but it makes zero sense. The XRP ledger and XRP itself is fully decentralized. Anyone can utilize both the ledger and the digital currency. BRICS have very ambitious plans. These plans require a new generation of payment technology. Do you know where they could tap into that kind of technology? It's extremely important to focus on what's important regarding BRICS, de-dollarization, and the major pushback against the US-dominated payment networks. We are on the edge of a tectonic shift in the world of finance. This is a change that happens every 100 years. The reserve currency status is in question. We are seeing the rise of new age technology. All of this is aligning perfectly. I truly feel bad for those who are getting impatient now and will soon be shaken out. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and we are at the forefront of it. And yes, we are. I mean, listen, I don't know the 100% certainty of this recent announcement of the petrodollar agreement not having a new agreement in place. We don't know too much on this. There's no major confirmation. No mainstream media is really kind of addressing this at all. But over the weekend, we saw that the petrodollar agreement has expired. We know that this has. With how much pushback we are seeing against the dollar, would it really make sense for Saudi Arabia to now sell oil in just the US dollar? Absolutely not. So I do believe that the petrodollar agreement has already ended. I think that it has already ended, and it was ended even well over a year ago. We've talked about this on multiple occasions as well. But this is the death strike for the US dollar. Now, the way that I look at this is just another accelerant, though. This is an accelerant for the new system. This is an accelerant for us to push back against fiat currencies and usher in the new financial system dominated heavily by digital currencies and digital technology. That's where we look at DLT, blockchain, and what the BRICS are doing, because they're looking at new payment systems at a time where the BRICS are also working with major organizations like the BIS or even the IMF. They're discussing plans. They're in the same private meetings that we've been addressing for a while, where we see tokenization being brought up. They're all in the same game together. All right. I've outlined this. That's why we look at Project Enbridge. That's why we look at these projects, these trials that the BIS is pushing. And guess who's all a part of this as well? The US. So we look at these major conflicts happening around the financial system and the fiat currencies, but it's all to usher in this new financial system. This new financial system is the thing that we need to focus on. How do we get there? Well, we create conflict, we get the reaction, and then we push the solution. The solution is a fully decentralized, open, inclusive system dominated heavily by DLT, blockchain-based technology, digital currencies, tokenization, and even gold. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, so notifications on because more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. And with that being said, guys, this has been Nick. Thanks for watching. Peace out.